Captain Hyunwoo sat in his command chair, watching the stars through the front window of his cargo ship. The Harmony's Edge was not a pretty ship. It was old, with scratched metal walls and worn seats. But it was his ship, and it had never let him down. "Captain, we have a problem," said So-min from her seat at the navigation controls. Her fingers moved quickly across the bright blue screens. "The hyperspace drive is acting strange. The readings don't look right." Hyunwoo got up and walked over to her station. He was a tall man with kind eyes and hands that showed years of hard work. "How strange." "Very strange. The energy levels are jumping up and down. If we don't stop the hyperspace jump soon, the drive might break completely." Taeho looked up from his engineering station. He was younger than the captain, with oil stains on his work clothes. "Captain, if the drive breaks while we're in hyperspace, we could be lost forever. We need to drop out now." "But we're in the middle of nowhere," said Ji-eun, the ship's doctor. She was a small woman with sharp eyes and gentle hands. "There's nothing out here but empty space." Hyunwoo thought for a moment. His crew was right. Staying in hyperspace was too dangerous. "So-min, find us the nearest safe place to stop. Taeho, prepare for emergency drop." The ship shook as they fell out of hyperspace. Through the windows, they could see a strange yellow sun with several planets around it. This was not on any of their star maps. "Where are we?" asked So-min, checking her computers. "I don't know," said Hyunwoo. "But we're alive. That's what matters now." Taeho was already working on the broken hyperspace drive. "Captain, this is going to take at least 6 hours to fix, maybe more. We're stuck here." "Then we wait," said Hyunwoo. "Check the area for any dangers. Make sure we're safe." For 2 hours, everything was quiet. The crew worked on repairs while Hyunwoo looked at star charts trying to figure out where they were. Then So-min called out from her station. "Captain, I'm getting a signal. It's very weak, but it's definitely a distress call." "From where?" "The third planet. The signal is coming from the surface." Hyunwoo looked at the brown and green planet on his screen. It looked peaceful, but something had gone wrong there. "What kind of signal?" "It's not human. The pattern is different, but it's definitely asking for help." Ji-eun came over to look. "Captain, we should help them. Someone down there needs us." "Our job is to deliver cargo, not rescue people," said So-min. "The company won't like it if we're late." "The company isn't here," said Hyunwoo. "But someone who needs help is. Taeho, how long until the drive is fixed?" 4 more hours, at least. Then we have time. Prepare the shuttle. We're going down to look." The shuttle was small but strong. It could carry 6 people and had enough power to get them to the planet and back. Hyunwoo, So-min, and Ji-eun went down together, leaving Taeho to work on the ship. The planet's air was good to breathe. The gravity was almost the same as Earth. But as they flew toward the distress signal, they saw something terrible. Black smoke rose from the ground. Pieces of metal were scattered everywhere. A ship had crashed here and it had been destroyed by weapons. "Look at those burn marks," said Ji-eun. "This wasn't an accident. Someone attacked this ship. They landed near the wreckage." The ship was huge, much bigger than theirs, but it was broken into many pieces. Some parts were still smoking. Hyunwoo had seen attacked ships before, but this was worse than most. "The design is strange," said So-min. "I've never seen a ship like this." "It's Velari," said Ji-eun, looking at symbols on the broken metal. "I studied their language in medical school. They're peaceful people. They grow food for many worlds." "What would anyone want to attack them for?" asked Hyunwoo. They searched through the wreckage carefully. Most of the ship was too damaged to enter, but So-min found something with her scanner. "There's a power source still working. It's deep inside the ship, in a protected area." They found a way into the broken ship. Inside, the walls were melted and twisted. The air smelled of burned metal and something else, something sad and frightening. They followed So-min's scanner deeper into the ship. "Here," she said, pointing to a heavy door that was still closed. "The power is coming from behind this door." The door was locked, but Taeho had taught them how to open emergency locks. Inside, they found a small room with thick walls. It was a safe room, built to protect people during attacks, and there were people inside, but they weren't human. 12 young aliens sat in the corner of the room. They were thin and scared, with large eyes and skin that looked like tree bark. The oldest, one looked about 15 in human years. The youngest was just a small child. With them was an older alien lying on the floor. His skin was gray and he was breathing slowly. He was dying. Velari, whispered Ji-un. They're all Velari. The old alien opened his eyes when he heard them. He tried to speak, but his voice was very weak. Ji-un knelt down next to him. We're here to help, she said slowly. Do you understand? The alien reached into his clothes and pulled out a small crystal. His hand shook as he held it out to Hyunwoo. Then he spoke in broken human language. Children, safe, must go home. Where is home? Asked Hyunwoo, taking the crystal. Synthesis. The world. Synthesis. The old alien's breathing became harder. Raiders came. Killed everyone. Only children left. Last ones. Ji-un checked him with her medical tools. She looked at Hyunwoo and shook her head. The old alien was dying from radiation poisoning. There was nothing she could do. Please, the alien whispered. Take them. Home. They are. The last. The old alien closed his eyes and stopped breathing. The children began to cry, a soft musical sound that broke Hyunwoo's heart. One of the older children, a girl, looked at Hyunwoo with huge, frightened eyes. She pointed to herself and said, Liren. Then she pointed to the dead alien. Theon. Grandfather Theon. I'm Hyunwoo, he said gently. We're going to help you. So Min pulled him aside. Captain, we can't take 12 alien children with us. We don't have enough food or space. And what about our cargo run? The company will fire us. Look at them, said Hyunwoo. They're children. They're scared and alone, and someone killed their families. We can't just leave them here. But what can we do? We're just a cargo ship. Hyunwoo looked at the crystal in his hand. Then he looked at the children huddled together in fear. He thought about his own family, far away on Earth. What if something happened to them? What if they needed help and no one came? We take them home, he said. We take them to Synthesis. Captain, that's impossible. Synthesis is weeks away through dangerous space. We could all die trying. Maybe, said Hyunwoo. But if we don't try, they will definitely die. And I won't let that happen. He knelt down in front of the children. Don't be afraid, he said. We're going to take you home. We're going to take you to Synthesis. Liren looked at him for a long moment. Then she said something in her own language to the other children. They looked at Hyunwoo with hope in their eyes for the first time. So Min, call Tai-ho. Tell him to prepare the ship for passengers. Ji-un, check the children. Make sure they're healthy enough to travel. Captain, said So-min. Are you sure about this? Hyunwoo looked at the children one more time. They were so young, so helpless. Without help, they would die on this empty planet. He thought about what his father had taught him long ago. Sometimes doing the right thing was more important than doing the safe thing. I'm sure, he said. We're going to save them. As they prepared to leave the broken ship, Hyunwoo didn't know that his decision would change everything. He didn't know about the dangers waiting for them in space, or the powerful enemies who wanted these children to disappear forever. All he knew was that 12 young lives depended on him now. And he would not let them down. The rescue had begun. Back on the Harmony's edge, the crew gathered in the main room. The 12 Velari children sat together on blankets that Ji-un had given them. They were still scared, but they felt safer on the human ship than on the broken planet below. Tae-ho looked at the children with worry in his eyes. Captain, our ship can only support 8 people comfortably. With 16 of us now, we're going to have problems with air, water, and food. I can fix that, said Ji-un. The Velari breathe the same air we do, but they need less of it, and they eat different food. I found some information about their diet in the ship's computer. So-min was not happy. She stood with her arms crossed, looking angry. Captain, this is crazy. We have cargo to deliver. The company is expecting us at Station 7 in 10 days. If we're late, they'll fire us all. The company can wait, said Hyunwoo. No, they can't. We signed contracts. We promised to deliver that cargo on time. If we break our promise, we'll never work in space again. Liren, the oldest Valari child, stood up slowly. She was still weak from hunger, but she wanted to speak. Please, she said in careful human words. We understand. You have work. We can go back to planet. No, said Hyunwoo firmly. You're not going back to that planet. You're coming with us. But Captain, said Taeho, So-min is right. This could ruin us. What about our families back on Earth? They need the money we send them. Hyunwoo sat down and put his head in his hands. He was tired, and the decision was harder than he thought it would be. His crew was right to worry, but every time he looked at the children, he remembered the old alien's dying words. They are the last ones. Ji-eun came over and sat next to him. Captain, I've been checking the children. 3 of them are very sick. They haven't had enough food for weeks. The youngest one has a fever. They won't survive much longer without proper care. How long do they have? Asked Hyunwoo. Maybe a week. Maybe less. So-min heard this, and her angry face changed. She looked at the sick children and felt sad. Can you help them? I can try, but they need medicine I don't have. And they need to eat the right food or they'll get sicker. Hyunwoo took out the crystal that the dying alien had given him. He plugged it into the ship's computer. Information filled the screen. Pictures, words, and numbers in the Valari language. What is it? Asked Taeho. Family records, said Ji-eun, reading the translated text. These children are from the Kepler 442 colony. It was attacked 3 weeks ago. The whole planet was destroyed. The screen showed pictures of a beautiful world with green forests and blue rivers. Then it showed the same world burning. Ships with black hulls had come from space and destroyed everything. Who did this? Asked So-min. The Keth Dominion, said Ji-eun, reading more. They're a military empire. They attack peaceful worlds and take the people as slaves. But why attack farmers? The Valari grow food. They don't fight anyone. The report says the Keth needed the farmland for their own people, so they killed the Valari and took their world. Hyunwoo felt sick. He had heard rumors about the Keth, but he never thought they would kill children for farmland. There's more, said Ji-eun. The Galactic Council has closed most of the refugee camps. They say there are too many homeless people and not enough resources. Most Valari refugees are being sent to work camps. Work camps? Slave camps. The Keth buy them from the council and make them work until they die. So-min sat down hard in her chair. So if we turn these children over to the authorities, they'll be sold as slaves? Yes. And if we try to take them home? Synthesis is 3 weeks away through Keth space. Our ship isn't built for fighting or hiding. We'll probably all die trying. The room was quiet for a long time. The children could feel the tension in the air. They whispered to each other in their own language, afraid that the humans would abandon them. Finally, Taeho spoke. What does the crystal say about synthesis? Will they take the children? Ji-eun checked the computer again. Synthesis is the Valari homeworld, but they've closed their borders too. They're not letting anyone in, even other Valari. Too many refugees, not enough space. So even if we get there, they might not let the children in? That's right. Hyunwoo looked at his crew. They all looked tired and worried. He knew they were right to be scared. This was not their problem. They were just cargo haulers, not heroes. But then he looked at the children again. Liren was holding a smaller child who was crying softly. The little one looked very sick. Her skin was pale and her breathing was shallow. Ji-eun, he said. What's wrong with the little one? Malnutrition. She's starving. Without proper food, she'll die in 2 days. And you can save her? If I have the right medicine and food, yes. Hyunwoo made his decision. Then we're going to synthesis. Captain, said So-min, this is insane. We'll lose our jobs, our ship, maybe our lives. Maybe. But look at them, So-min. Really look at them. So-min looked at the children. They were so young, so frightened. The little sick girl reminded her of her own younger sister back on Earth. They're just children, said Hyunwoo. Someone killed their families and destroyed their world. If we don't help them, who will? The government, the Galactic Council. It's their job. No, it's not. It's our job. Right now, in this moment. It's our job because we're the only ones here. Taeho looked at his captain with new respect. You really mean it, don't you? You're willing to risk everything for them. Yes. Even though they're aliens, even though we don't know them? They're children, Taeho, that's all that matters. So-min stood up and walked to the navigation console. She started typing commands into the computer. Fine, if we're going. To do this crazy thing, we need to plan it right. Let me find us a route to synthesis that avoids the main Keth patrol areas. You're with us? Asked Hyunwoo. I think you're all insane. But I can't watch children die when I can help save them. My sister would never forgive me. Taeho nodded. If we're doing this, I need to modify the ship. More beds, better air, recycling, food storage for Valari diets. It's going to take time. How much time? 6 hours to make the basic changes. But Captain, once we start this journey, there's no going back. If the Keth catch us with Valari refugees, they'll kill us all. I understand. Ji-eun was already working with her medical supplies. I can keep the children alive for the journey, but it won't be easy. Some of them are very weak. Liren came over to Hyunwoo. She moved slowly like an old person, even though she was young. Human captain, she said carefully. Why? You help us? We are not your people. Hyunwoo knelt down so he could look her in the eyes. Because it's the right thing to do, and because every child deserves to go home. But dangerous for you? Yes, very dangerous. Then, why? Hyunwoo thought about how to explain it in simple words she could understand. On my world, we have a saying, the only thing necessary for evil to win is for good people to do nothing. Your people were killed by evil. If we do nothing, evil wins. Liren's eyes filled with tears. She said something in Valari to the other children. They all looked at Hyunwoo with wonder and gratitude. She told them you're willing to die to save them, said Ji-eun, who had learned some Valari words from the computer. They want to know if all humans are like you. I hope so, said Hyunwoo. I really hope so. As the crew prepared for their dangerous journey, none of them knew that their ship was already being tracked. Keth spies were everywhere, and word of human cargo haulers helping Valari refugees was spreading through the criminal networks of space. The hunt for the Harmony's Edge was about to begin, but for now, in the safety of their ship, 12 frightened children had found hope, and 4 humans had chosen to risk everything to give them that hope. The real journey was just beginning. 3 days into their journey, the Harmony's Edge was flying through space that no cargo ship should enter. So-min had found old smuggler routes that pirates used years ago. The paths were dangerous, but they stayed away from the main shipping, lanes where Keth patrols watched for refugees. The ship felt crowded now. Taeho had built extra beds in the cargo bay where the children slept. The air recycling system worked harder than ever before, making strange noises that worried everyone. But they were alive, and they were moving toward synthesis. Ji-eun had set up a medical area in the storage room. The sickest children were getting better with proper food and medicine. The little girl who almost died was now sitting up and eating. Her name was Nira, and she had big purple eyes that reminded Hyunwoo of his niece back on Earth. Captain, said So-min from her navigation station, we have a problem ahead. Hyunwoo came over to look at her screens. What kind of problem? Keth, patrol checkpoint. 3 ships blocking the shipping lane. They're stopping every vessel and checking cargo. Can we go around? Yes, but it will add 4 days to our trip, and we're already low on food. Taeho looked up from his engineering station. Captain, if we take the long route, we won't have enough fuel to reach synthesis. The detour will use too much power. Hyunwoo studied the patrol formation on the screen. The Keth ships were big and well-armed. His cargo ship had no weapons and weak shields. If they tried to run, the patrol would destroy them easily. What about our fake papers? he asked. They might work, said Somin. But if the Keth search the ship, they'll find the children. We could hide them, suggested Teho. Where? The ship is too small. And if they use life scanners, they'll detect everyone on board. Liren had been listening to their conversation. She understood more human words now than when they first met. Captain, she said quietly, maybe we go back. We are too much trouble for you. No, said Hyunwoo firmly. We're not going back. We'll find another way. But how? Asked Somin. Before Hyunwoo could answer, the ship's communication system came alive. A harsh voice filled the bridge. Unknown cargo vessel. This is Keth Patrol Commander Vex Ka. Stop your ship immediately for inspection. Everyone froze. The children huddled together in fear. They remembered the Keth ships that had destroyed their world. They found us, whispered Taiho. How? Asked Somin. We're supposed to be invisible on this route. Someone told them, said Hyunwoo grimly. Someone knew we were coming this way. The Keth commander spoke again. Cargo vessel, you have 30 seconds to stop your engines and prepare for boarding. If you run, we will destroy you. Hyunwoo looked at his crew. They all knew what this meant. If the Keth found the children, everyone would die, but if they tried to run, the patrol ships would shoot them down. Captain, said Jiun, I can sedate the children. Make them unconscious so they won't make noise during the search. That's dangerous for sick children. It's more dangerous if they're found awake. Hyunwoo made his decision. Do it. Taeho, is there anywhere on this ship where the life scanners might not work? The engine room has a lot of radiation. It might block the scanners, but it's not safe for the children. Safer than being found by the Keth. They worked quickly. Jiun gave the children medicine to make them sleep. Taiho cleared space in the engine room and set up temporary beds. The children were scared, but they trusted the humans now. Liren helped translate what was happening. We sleep now, she told the younger ones in Valari. When we wake up, we will still be safe. As the children fell asleep, the Keth patrol ship came alongside the Harmony's edge. They could hear the docking tube connecting to their ship's airlock. Remember, said Hyunwoo to his crew, we're just cargo haulers. We know nothing about refugees or the Valari. Act normal. The airlock opened, and Commander Vex Ka entered with 4 armed soldiers. Vex Ka was tall and thin, with gray skin and cold yellow eyes. He wore black armor with the symbol of the Keth Dominion on his chest. I am Commander Vex Ka, he said in a voice like grinding metal. This is a routine inspection for contraband and illegal passengers. Welcome aboard, said Hyunwoo, trying to sound calm. I'm Captain Hyunwoo. We're hauling machine parts to Station 7. Your cargo manifest, Captain. Somin handed over the fake papers they had prepared. Vex Ka studied them carefully with a small computer scanner. These papers show you left Earth Station 12 days ago. But you are far from the normal shipping routes. Why? Engine trouble, said Taeho quickly. Had to take a longer route while we fixed the hyperspace drive. Show me this engine trouble. Taeho led the commander to the engine room, where the sleeping children were hidden behind large fuel tanks. Hyunwoo's heart pounded as he watched Vex Ka examine the engines with his scanner. I see evidence of recent repairs, said the commander, but these repairs could have been made anywhere. Why not at a proper station? Couldn't afford station prices, said Hyunwoo. We're independent haulers. Money is tight. Vex Ka's scanner was getting closer to where the children were hidden. The radiation from the engines was making strange noises, but would it be enough to hide 12 sleeping Valari? Commander, said one of his soldiers, the life scanners are picking up unusual readings from this area. Hyunwoo felt his blood turn to ice. They had been discovered. Unusual how? Asked Vex Ka. The radiation is interfering with the equipment, but there might be more life forms on this ship than the 4 humans. Vex Ka turned to look at Hyunwoo with suspicion. Captain, how many people are on your ship? 4. My crew and myself. My scanner suggests otherwise. Just then Nira, the youngest child, made a small sound in her sleep. It was barely a whimper, but in the quiet engine room, everyone heard it. Vexka smiled coldly. What was that sound? Captain? Engine cooling system, said Tejo desperately. It makes noise when it cycles. Does it? Vexka walked toward the fuel tanks where the children were hidden. Let me see this cooling system. Hyunwoo knew they were caught. In seconds, the commander would find the sleeping children. Then they would all die. But just as Vexka reached for the panel that would reveal the hidden children, alarms began sounding throughout the ship. Commander! Shouted one of his soldiers from the bridge. Long-range scanners show 3 unidentified ships, approaching fast. They're not responding to communication. Pirates, said Vexka with anger. They choose the worst times to attack. He turned back to Hyunwoo. Captain, you will come with us to our ship for further questioning. Your crew will remain here under guard. Commander, said the soldier urgently. The approaching ships are heavily armed. We need to return to patrol formation immediately. Vexka looked frustrated. The pirate attack was forcing him to leave before he could complete his search. Very well, but I am not finished with you, Captain. After we deal with these pirates, we will return. The Keth soldiers left quickly, sealing the airlock behind them. Through the windows, Hyunwoo could see the patrol ships moving into battle formation. Who are those pirates? Asked So-min. I don't know, said Hyunwoo. But they just saved our lives. The battle was short but fierce. The 3 pirate ships attacked the Keth patrol with surprising skill. They used the asteroid field nearby for cover, hitting the patrol ships and then disappearing behind the floating rocks. One of the Keth ships was destroyed. The other 2 were badly damaged. Commander Vexka's ship was leaking air and had lost most of its weapons. Then the lead pirate ship sent a message to the Harmony's Edge. Cargo Captain, this is Captain Bora of the Free Wind. Follow us to safety. We need to talk. Should we trust them? Asked So-min. Do we have a choice? Replied Hyunwoo. They followed the pirates to a hidden base inside a large asteroid. The base was called Haven's Rest, and it was bigger than Hyunwoo expected. Dozens of ships were docked there, pirates, smugglers, and others who lived outside. The law. Captain Bora came aboard their ship alone and unarmed. She was a middle-aged woman with scars on her face and hands that had seen many fights. But her eyes were kind. So, she said, looking around the cargo bay, you're the humans who are trying to save Valari children? How did you know? Asked Hyunwoo. Word travels fast in places like this. The Keth have put a bounty on your ship. 500,000 credits for you and the children, dead or alive. 500,000? We're just cargo haulers. Not anymore. Now you're symbols, proof that someone still cares about what's right. Bora sat down across from Hyunwoo. I lost my own family to a Keth raid 5 years ago. My daughter was about the same age as some of your children. I couldn't save her, but maybe I can help. You save them. Why would you help us? Because sometimes the galaxy needs people who do stupid, brave things, and because those children deserve a chance to go home. As they talked, the sleeping children began to wake up. Ji-un checked them carefully and found they were all healthy. The medicine had worked perfectly. Laren came over to Hyunwoo with a worried look. Captain, are we safe now? For now, he said. But the journey isn't over yet. The bad soldiers, they almost found us. Yes, but they didn't, and we won't let them. Bora watched the interaction between the human captain and the young Valari. You really care about them, don't you? Captain Bora gave them new fuel, food, and medicine. She also provided fake identification codes that would help them get closer to Valari space. But she had bad news too. The bounty on your ship has grown, she said, showing Hyunwoo a message on her communication device. 1 million credits now. Every bounty hunter in the sector is looking for you. Why so much money? Asked So-min. Because you're becoming famous. Word is spreading that humans are willing to die to save alien children. Some people love the story, others hate it. The Keth hate it most of all. What does that mean for us? Asked Taiho. It means you can't stop at any normal station, you can't trust anyone, and you definitely can't get caught. The children had been listening quietly. Liren translated for the younger ones in their own language. Several of them started crying softly. They think this is their fault, said Ji-eun. They think they're causing too much trouble. Tell them. It's not their fault, said Hyunwoo. Tell them that bad people are the problem, not them. Bora watched Hyunwoo talk to the children with gentle words and kind gestures. You know, she said. Most people would have given up by now. The smart thing would be to turn them over to the authorities and collect a reward. We're not most people. No, you're not. That's what makes you dangerous to people like the Keth. They left Haven's Rest with new supplies and better hiding places for the children. Bora had shown Taeho how to build secret compartments that even advanced scanners couldn't detect. But the modifications took time, and their fuel was running low again. We need to stop somewhere, said So-min, checking her navigation computer. There's a trading station called Port Nexus 3 hours away. It's supposed to be neutral territory. Is it safe? Asked Hyunwoo. Safer than running out of fuel in empty space. Port Nexus was a large station built inside a dead asteroid. Ships from many different worlds docked there to trade goods and information. It was the kind of place where people didn't ask too many questions. The Harmony's Edge docked at a quiet platform far from the main trading areas. Hyunwoo went alone to buy fuel and supplies while his crew stayed with the children. The station was crowded and noisy. Aliens from dozens of worlds walked through the corridors, buying and selling everything from food to weapons. Hyunwoo kept his head down and tried to look like a normal cargo captain. But as he was paying for fuel, the merchant looked at him strangely. You look familiar, said the merchant. Have we met before? I don't think so, said Hyunwoo quickly. Wait a minute. The merchant's eyes grew wide. You're him. You're the human with the Valari children. I don't know what you're talking about. But it was too late. The merchant was already calling for station security. He's here. The bounty ship is here. Hyunwoo ran back toward his ship, but alarms were already sounding throughout the station. Security doors began closing, trapping ships in their docking bays. He reached his ship just as station security surrounded it. The security chief was a large alien with 4 arms and a voice like thunder. Captain Hyunwoo, said the security chief. I am Administrator Kane. You are under arrest for transporting illegal refugees. We're just cargo haulers, said Hyunwoo. Don't lie to me. I know who you are and what you're carrying. The Keth Dominion has offered a very generous reward for you and your passengers. Through his ship's communication system, Hyunwoo could hear his crew talking nervously. The children were scared and hiding in their secret compartments. I'll make you a deal, said Kane. Give me the Valari children, and I'll let you and your crew go free. You can even keep your ship. No deal. Think carefully, Captain. The Keth are on their way here. When they arrive, they'll kill everyone on your ship, including your crew. Is saving a few alien children worth the lives of your own people? Hyunwoo looked at the security forces surrounding his ship. There were too many to fight and his ship had no weapons. But he thought about the children hiding inside, trusting him to keep them safe. My answer is still no. Kane's face grew angry. Then you're all going to die for nothing. Suddenly, explosions shook the station. Emergency lights flashed red and new alarms began sounding. Through the station's windows, Hyunwoo could see ships attacking Port Nexus from outside. Pirates! Shouted one of Kane's security officers. We're under attack. Kane spoke into his communication device. All security forces to defensive positions. Protect the main reactor. In the confusion, Hyunwoo saw his chance. He ran back to his ship and shouted to his crew. Start the engines, we're leaving now. The docking clamps are still locked, said Taeho. Then break them. Taeho overloaded the ship's engines, and the Harmony's Edge tore free from the docking bay. Parts of the station's dock came with them, but they were free. As they flew away from Port Nexus, Hyunwoo saw that the attacking ships belonged to Captain Bora. She had followed them and attacked the station to create a distraction. This is Bora, came her voice over the communication system. Follow me to the asteroid field, I know a safe place to hide. But as they reached the asteroid field, more ships appeared. These were not pirates or station security. These were Keth, warships, led by Commander Vex Ka. This is Commander Vexka, said the cold voice over their speakers. Captain Hyunwoo, you have caused me great embarrassment. Surrender now, and I will make your death quick. Not a chance, replied Hyunwoo. Boo. Battle began immediately. Bora's pirate ships were fast and clever, but the Keth warships were bigger and stronger. Laser fire lit up the darkness between the asteroids. The Harmony's Edge dodged between the floating rocks, trying to stay out of the fighting. But they were not fast enough. A Keith ship locked onto them and fired. The blast hit their engine room. Sparks flew from control panels and the lights went out. Emergency power came on, but it was weak. Engine damage, shouted Taeho. We're losing power fast. How bad? Asked Hyunwoo. Bad. We have maybe an hour of life support left, and we can't make hyperspace jumps. Through their damaged communication system, they heard Captain Bora's voice. Cargo ship, can you hear me? We're here, Bora, but we're badly damaged. I'm coming to get you. My ship can carry your people. What about the children? Them too, all of them. But before Bora could reach them, a Keth warship moved between them. Commander Vexka's ship fired on the pirate vessel, hitting it hard. Bora's ship spun out of control, leaking air and fuel. Bora, called Hyunwoo. Are you alive? Still here? Came her weak voice. But my ship is dying. I can't help you anymore. You've already helped us more than we can repay. Just get those children home, Hyunwoo. Make it mean something. Bora's ship exploded in a ball of fire. The woman who had risked everything to help them was gone. Vexka's warship turned toward the damaged Harmony's Edge. The Keth commander's voice filled their bridge. Captain Hyunwoo, your pirate friend is dead. Your ship is dying. Surrender the children now, and I will let your crew live. Hyunwoo looked at his crew. So-min was crying for Captain Bora. Taeho was trying desperately to fix the engines. Ji-eun was with the children, comforting them as the ship shook from weapons fire. What do we do, Captain? Asked So-min. Hyunwoo thought about all the people who had died to help them. Theon, the old Valari who gave them the crystal. Bora, who sacrificed her life for children she had never met. All the Valari families who died on Kepler 442. We don't give up, he said. We keep fighting. With what? We have no weapons and no engines. We have something the Keth don't understand. We have hope. Just then, new ships appeared on their scanners. But these weren't more enemies. These were Valari patrol ships coming from the direction of Synthesis. Unknown human vessel, said a new voice over their communication system. This is Admiral Zephyr of the Valari Defense Fleet. We received your distress signal. Are you the ship carrying Kepler 442 survivors? Yes, shouted Hyunwoo. We have 12 children who need to get home. Maintain your position. We are moving. To protect you. The Valari ships were beautiful and graceful, but they were also powerful. They surrounded the Keth warships and demanded that they leave Valari space immediately. Commander Vexka was furious. These humans are criminals. They belong to the Keth Dominion. These humans are heroes, replied Admiral Zephyr, and they are under our protection now. Faced with the entire Valari defense fleet, Commander Vexka had no choice but to retreat. His ships disappeared into hyperspace, leaving the damaged Harmony's Edge alone with their rescuers. Captain Hyunwoo, said Admiral Zephyr, permission to come aboard your ship. We have much to discuss. As the Valari Admiral's shuttle docked with their ship, Liren came to Hyunwoo with tears in her eyes. Captain, she said in much better human words than before, we are almost home? Yes, said Hyunwoo, putting his hand on her shoulder. You're almost home. But he wondered what home would be like for children who had lost everything, and what would happen to the humans who had risked everything to save them. Admiral Zephyr was tall and graceful, with silver bark-like skin and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of ages. When she saw the 12 children, she knelt down and spoke to them in their own language. For the first time since leaving their destroyed world, the children smiled. These little ones carry the genetic markers of the founding families of Synthesis, said the Admiral to Hyunwoo. We thought they were all lost when Kepler 442 was destroyed. You have brought us a miracle. They're just children who wanted to go home, said Hyunwoo, No, Captain. They are much more than that. And so are you. The Valari ships towed the damaged Harmony's Edge to synthesis. During the 3-day journey, Valari medical teams worked with Jiun to make sure all the children were healthy. Engineers worked with Teho to repair their ship with advanced Valari technology. Somin spent her time learning about Valari navigation techniques, amazed by how they used natural space currents that human sensors couldn't detect. The Valari navigators were impressed by her quick understanding. Your species learns very fast, said one Valari engineer to Teho. Most aliens take years to understand our technology. You learned it in days. Humans are good at adapting, said Teho proudly. When they finally reached synthesis, Hyunwoo was amazed by what he saw. The planet was covered in beautiful forests and flowing rivers. Cities grew from living trees and the air was filled with sweet-smelling flowers. It looked like paradise, but he also saw the refugee camps. Thousands of Valari who had escaped other destroyed worlds lived in temporary shelters. The planet was struggling to care for all the homeless people. Admiral Zephyr explained the situation as they landed. We want to help everyone, but our resources are limited. That's why our borders have been closed. We simply cannot take any more refugees. But you're taking these children? These children are special. They carry the genetic memories of our ancestors. With them, we can rebuild what was lost. They are the future of our people. The landing was emotional. Thousands of Valari came to welcome the children home. There were tears, songs, and celebrations. Families who had lost their own children offered to adopt the survivors. Lyran found Hyunwoo in the crowd. She was wearing new clothes and looked healthier than ever, but her eyes were serious. Captain, she said, my people want to thank you. They want to give you great honors and rewards. I don't need rewards, Lyran. Seeing you safe is enough. But there is something else. Something important. She led him to a quiet garden where Admiral Zephyr was waiting with several other Valari leaders. Captain Hyunwoo, said the Admiral, what you have done has spread throughout the galaxy. News of the human who risked everything to save alien children is being told on 1,000 worlds. I'm not a hero, said Hyunwoo. I just did what anyone should do. That's exactly why you are a hero. You saw suffering and chose to act, even when it cost you everything. What do you mean cost me everything? Your human company has fired you and your crew. Your trading license has been canceled. Your government considers you a criminal for harboring illegal refugees. Hyunwoo felt his heart sink. He had known this might happen, but hearing it confirmed was still painful. What about my crew? They face the same punishment. They are heroes too, but heroes are not always welcome in their own homes. Somin, Teho, and Jiun joined them in the garden. They all looked worried about their futures. So what happens to us now? Asked Somin. That depends on what you choose, said Admiral Zephyr. We would like to offer you citizenship on synthesis. You could live here, work here, and help us care for the refugees who continue to arrive. But this isn't our world, said Teho. Home is not always the place where you were born, said the Admiral. Sometimes home is the place where your heart finds peace. Jiun spoke first. I want to stay. There are so many sick and injured refugees here who need medical care. I can help them. I want to stay too, said Teho. Your technology is amazing. I could learn so much working with Valari engineers. Somin was quiet for a long moment. I've been thinking about this since we left Earth. What we did changed me. I can't go back to just hauling cargo and pretending the galaxy's problems don't exist. But I don't think I should stay here either. What do you mean? Asked Hyunwoo. I want to go back to human space. I want to tell our story. I want to help other humans understand that we can't just ignore suffering because it's happening to aliens. Admiral Zephyr nodded approvingly. That is also important work. We will give you documentation of what happened here. Your species needs to hear this story. Everyone looked at Hyunwoo. What about you, Captain? Asked Lyran. Hyunwoo looked around the beautiful garden. He could have a peaceful life here, working with people who appreciated what he had done, but he thought about all the other refugee ships that might be lost in space and all the other children who needed help. I want to stay for a while, he said. Long enough to make sure all of you are settled and happy. But then I think I need to go back to space. To do what? Asked Admiral Zephyr. To help others. There are more refugee ships out there. More children who need someone to care about them. Maybe I can't save everyone, but I can try to save some. The Admiral smiled. We thought you might say that. The Valari Council has a proposal for you. She handed him a data pad with official documents on it. We would like to make you our official liaison for refugee assistance. You would have a new ship, better than your old one. You would have diplomatic protection and the resources to help refugees. From any world, you're offering me a job saving refugees? We're offering you the chance to turn what you did for these 12 children into something bigger, something that could help thousands. Hyunwoo looked at the documents. It was everything he could have hoped for, a chance to keep helping people, with the backing of an entire world. There's one condition, said Admiral Zephyr. This job is dangerous. The Keth and others will try to stop you. You could die doing this work. I almost died saving these children, but I'm still here and so are they. That's what matters. 6 months later, Hyunwoo was captain of the New Hope, a ship designed specifically for refugee rescue missions. His crew included volunteers from many different worlds, humans, Valari, and others who wanted to help. So-min had returned to Earth and was speaking to government leaders and news reporters about the refugee crisis. Her speeches were inspiring other humans to take action. Taiho was working with Valari engineers to design better refugee transport ships. Jiun was running a medical training program that taught doctors from different worlds how to care for alien refugees. And the 12 children from Kepler 442 were growing up safe and healthy on synthesis. Lyran had started school and was learning to be a diplomat. She wanted to help prevent wars like the one that destroyed her world. One day Lyran sent a message to Hyunwoo while he was on a rescue mission. Captain, she said in the video message, I wanted to thank you again for saving us. But more than that, I wanted to tell you what you taught us. You taught us that strangers can become family. You taught us that doing the right thing is more important than doing the safe thing. And you taught us that one person who cares can change everything. Hyunwoo smiled as he watched the message on his ship's screen. Around him, his crew was preparing to rescue another group of refugees, this time from a world attacked by pirates. You're wrong about one thing, Lyran, he said to the screen. It wasn't one person who changed everything, it was all of us working together. And we're just getting started. Outside his ship's windows, the stars shone bright with possibility. Somewhere in that vast darkness, people needed help. And Hyunwoo would be there to provide it, because that's what humans do when they see suffering. They help, they care, they risk everything to save others. And sometimes, if they're very lucky, they change the galaxy in the process. The rescue missions continued, but this was just the beginning of a much larger story. The story of how compassion became contagious, spreading from one human captain to crews of many species, and eventually to entire worlds that decided to choose hope over fear. In the end, Hyunwoo had risked everything to save 12 alien children. But those children, and the story of their rescue, had saved something much larger, the galaxy's faith in the power of individual acts of kindness to create lasting change. The end.